Hi, hello, namaste. Welcome back to your channel Needs of Children. So, I am your social science NGT sir. In the previous session, 9th standard English medium political science, we are discussed about union government. In this session, the continued part of political science, union government, we are going to get more information. So, union executive. Let's come to we will get more information about this topic. The union executive implements the law framed by union legislature. It also implements the programs and policies of the union government. The union executive consists of president, prime minister and his council of ministers. The president is the head of the executive only in the name, whereas the prime minister and his council of ministers from the actual executive. So in this union executive, we will get the most very important person, that is president. Let's come to we will get more information about president. Article 52 of our constitution has created the post of the president. The Indian president is the constitutional head of the country. He is the first citizen, the head of the executive, and also the commander-in-chief of all the three armed forces, that is Army, Navy and Air Force. He enjoys the highest position in the country as he is the custodian of executive powers of the nation. No court of law can question his conduct or prosecute him. Then how the election of president will takes place? Who are the people will be going to participate in the election of president? Article 54 and 55 of the Constitution stipulate the way of the president should be elected. The president is elected by an electoral college of elected members of both the houses of parliament. Both the houses of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And then all elected members of legislative assemblies. Nothing but MLA, member of legislative assemblies of all the states. The Supreme Court judge administrates him the oath of office. The terms of office of the president is 5 years and he is eligible for re-election. When president goes against the constitution, he can be removed from the office by the parliament through a motion of impeachment. Then what is the concept of motion of impeachment? So the president considered as the fundamental part of parliament and also the protector of the constitution. He has to ensure that no one violates the constitution. If the president himself violates the constitution, he can be removed under the article number 61. This impeachment can be carried out in either house of the parliament. Advance notice of 14 days should be given for the debate. This should be supported by 1/4 of the members. After the discussion in both the houses, if 2/3 of the members vote for the motion, the president is removed from the office. It is called impeachment. But so far, no president is impeached in India. Then, to become the President of India, what are the qualifications are required? Should be citizen of India. He should have completed the age of 35 years. He should be qualified for election as the member of Lok Sabha. He should not hold any office of profit under the government. In case he is the government employee, he has to give the resignation. Then he should not be receive any profit from the government. Then what are the powers of the president? Number one, executive powers. All the administration is carried out in the name of president. The president appoints the prime minister and his recommendation appoints the other ministers. The president has the powers to appoint persons to high posts like Attorney General, Comptroller and Auditor General, judges of Supreme Court and High Courts, governors of the states, chairmen and members of the Finance Commission, chairmen and members of the Union Public Service Commission, election commissioners, commander-in-chief to the 3 armed forces and the ambassadors to different countries. So these are the executive powers of the president. And the legislative powers. What are the legislative powers of the president? The president has the power to summon the parliament or postpone its session. He may also address a joint sitting of both the houses or dissolve the Lok Sabha. A bill passed by both the houses become an act after it receives the approval of the president. The president may either re-examine such bills, return them or withhold them for some time. He may also nominate 2 Anglo-Indians to Lok Sabha and 12 members to Rajya Sabha. In all these functions, he acts upon the recommendations of the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. So these are the legislative powers of the president. And the next, judicial powers of the president. The president has the power to reduce the term of imprisonment of criminals and to cancel the capital punishment like lifetime imprisonment and sentenced to death. He can approach the Supreme Court for suggestions with reference to legal matters of the country. So these are the judicial powers of the president. And the financial powers of the president. So what are the financial powers? A financial bill cannot be introduced in the Lok Sabha without the permission of the President. It is only after the President grants permission that the reports of Finance Commission and the Comptroller and Auditor General are discussed in Parliament. So these are the financial powers of the President. And the military powers of the President. The President is the Commander-in-Chief of all three armed forces, so that he appoints the chiefs of the Army, Navy and Air Force on the recommendation of Union Cabinet. He also declares war and peace on the recommendation of Parliament. So these are the military powers of the President. And some emergency powers of the President. So related to the emergency powers of the President are: the President has the power to declare emergency in an unnatural situation. This is explained from Article 352, Article 360 under the 18th part of the Constitution. This concept is borrowed from the Government Act 1935. The effects of emergency on the fundamental rights and their management is borrowed from the Constitution of Germany. Based on the written recommendation of Union Cabinet, the President can declare the emergency on 3 occasions. So among that, national emergency, Article number 352, state emergency, Article number 356, financial emergency, Article number 360. So let's come to the emergencies are going to be provide the information. So national emergency, Article number 352. When there is a threat to a security, internal disturbances, this kind of emergency can be imposed if the approval of both the houses of the Parliament is taken within 1 month of the declaration. The emergency remains in force for 6 months. It can be continued for any required duration with the approval of both the houses of every 6 months. So previous it has been declared, that is in 1962, 1971 and 1975. And the state emergency. So how the state emergency it has been declared? So based on the report of the governor of a state, or if the state government for any reason cannot function according to the principles of the Constitution, the President can declare emergency under the article number 356. For example, in Karnataka, state emergency is declared for 6 times in total till now, if the approval of both the houses of the Parliament is taken. The emergency can be continued for 3 years. And the next one, financial emergency, article number 360. This kind of emergency can be declared if it is felt that the financial situation in the country has deteriorated. However, it has not been declared till now. So these are the 3 emergency can be declared the power by the President. And the next discretionary powers. What are the discretionary powers of the president? The president can, discretionary nothing but other powers. The president can exercise some certain powers without waiting for the approval of union cabinet. So they are, he may invite the leader of any party to form the government when no single party has not got a majority after an election. When the parliament approves a bill and sends it to him for approval, he may return bill for reconsideration. He may dissolve the Lok Sabha. So these are the other powers are discretionary powers of the president. So these are the information about the presidents. Let's come to the about prime minister. And before that, so these are, now you are seeing the presidents till now. So the first president Rajendra Prasad, and next followed by Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, Zakir Hussain, Venkatagiri, Fakhruddin, Neelam Sanjeev Reddy, Gaini Zail Singh, Sri Venkataraman, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, Sri K.R. Narayan, APJ Abdul Kalam, Pratibha Devi Singh Patil, and Pratibha Devi Singh Patil so was the first woman president of India, and Sri Pranab Mukherjee Ramnath Kovind is the present president of India. These are the presidents. Prime Minister. The Constitution has provided for a council of ministers with the Prime Minister as its head to assist and advise the President in the administration of the country. So President we used to call as the first citizen of the country, whereas Prime Minister is the real executive of the country. And the Prime Minister, still it is the Prime Minister who has the real power to carry out the administration. The President is head of the country, whereas the Prime Minister is the head of the government. He remains in office as long as he enjoys the trust of the Lok Sabha. So what are the very important powers of the Prime Minister? Number one, appointment and removal of ministers and allocation of portfolios. The Prime Minister recommends to the President the appointment of ministers to the Council of Ministers. He also allocates the various portfolios among the ministers. His decision is final in the allocation of portfolios. As President is called as the head of the government. As being a head of the government, Prime Minister is responsible for all actions of the government. He coordinates the activities of the various ministers. He takes greater interest in framing policies related to planning, defense and foreign affairs. The meetings of Union Cabinet are held under the chairmanship of Prime Minister. So that he is head of Union Cabinet. All discussions of issues of national and international importance are discussed and decisions are taken under his chairmanship. He is the link between president and cabinet. So these are the very important powers of the prime minister. So let's come to the till now who are become as the prime ministers of India. So among that, Jawaharlal Nehru, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi, Morarji Desai, Charan Singh, Rajiv Gandhi, VP Singh, PV Narasimha Rao, HD Deve Gowda, IK Gujral, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Manmohan Singh and present Narendra Modi are the prime ministers of India. At last, Union Cabinet. The Union Cabinet is the real executive and has ministers in two hierarchies. The first one is the cabinet level and the second is the ministers of state. The maximum strength of Union Cabinet is 15% of the total strength of the Parliament. The Cabinet has two kinds of responsibilities. Among that, the Minister of every department is responsible for the administration of his department. He has individual responsibility like for the success or failure of his department. The Union Cabinet has collective responsibility apart from the individual responsibility to the Parliament with regard to the decisions and policies taken by it. Therefore, the Cabinet can be in power only as long as it enjoys the trust of Parliament. When it loses the trust, it is removed by a no confidence motion. Then what is the concept of no confidence motion? So here the no confidence motion is if a majority of Lok Sabha members lost their confidence on the withdraw support to the Prime Minister and his cabinet, the Prime Minister as well as his cabinet minister will have to resign. The motion passed by Lok Sabha members at the centre and the Vidhana Sabha members at the state level asking for resignation of the ruling party and government at the centre and state respectively because they do not trust them any more is called no confidence motion. Thus, the term of office of union government and the state government depend on the trust of the Lok Sabha and Vidhana Sabha respectively. Rajya Sabha members and Vidhana Parishad members, they do not have enjoys such kind of privilege. But till now, around 34 no confidence motions have been passed in Indian Parliament. So this is about the confidence of information about the no confidence motion. So this is about the lesson union government. So the lesson it is completed and I will come up with next video with the next lesson. So until, keep watching my channel. In case of you have any queries, any questions, you can drop your doubt or questions in the comment box. Thank you. Keep watching my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.